Welcome, everybody, to this Xbox Life episode 415, TXL Community Edition 2016. I'm one of your hosts, Brun BJ Swick33, and with me this week is Rob, also known as Presar,
Hey, what's up, everybody?
and Mark, also known as Wingman709.
Hello, everybody.
And if anybody didn't catch that wonderful ad real quick, briefly at the
Yeah.
beginning, I just told Mark, I'm like, hey, Twitch just changed their entire dashboard and it's got a new video previewer. I wonder, it's all muted. I wonder if it'll work this time. Everybody, the answer is no.
I think Brun needs an ad blocker on his PC
I don't run
while we do the show.
I don't
I
run
know you don't.
I don't run ad blockers.
I know you don't.
There's
That's why
people
we have this problem.
there's people sometimes on Twitch that rely on those ads to make money, so I don't block ads.
So you just run it while we're recording.
Sometimes I don't open until afterwards, but it's on mute and then they unmute it for their ad, which is annoying. So, but
They're not the only ones.
yeah. Welcome. We are here. A day late, but we wanted
Many
to be
dollars short.
yeah, we want everybody to be on a show for our community edition. So that's why, we took an extra day, but episode 415, and we are on twitch.tv/this Xbox Life. We usually begin around 10 p.m., 10 to 10:15 p.m. Every Sunday, except for today is on a Monday. And for anybody who's new out there, welcome. And you may be new because you may have seen us doing our little 2016 Christmas giveaway, which is a Xbox Elite controller. So you may have, yeah.
Oh, wait, that's not it.
Yeah. You may have seen that, and you maybe have followed us to get an entry. And if you're here, welcome. Thanks for giving us a chance. Good luck on the giveaway. So, and that is over in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. The 25th.
What?
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
2
Okay,
weeks.
2 weeks.
Yep. So the community edition, what we're going to do here is we got questions from our Facebook group, and I think we had some emails, and we got a voicemail, which I forgot to start up before the show started, so that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work. And we're going to just go through all those, but we are going to do what we've been playing, which is our first segment we typically do. Rob, won't you go first, and I'm going to boot up some stuff for our voicemail.
All right. So this week I've been basically playing more Dishonored 2, or like my son calls it, it's Dishonored 2. That's what it looks like on the screen. And I actually got 2 of those rare achievements. Have you guys gotten those yet? I'm sure you probably have, right?
I've gotten one before, yes. It makes
Yeah.
a different
Lots of-
sound. Yeah.
Yeah. It just it's a little surprising to hear
Mhm.
because you're just so used to blink. But it's cool. It's cool. So
It's all based on the number of people that have gotten that achievement, I think. I don't know what the
Right.
percentage is before it
it's a
changes
low
over.
percentage.
Yeah, until it changes over, but I don't know if it changes over like 5% or 10%, but yeah, I've gotten a
Yeah.
couple.
Yeah, one of mine on Dishonored 2 was to solve the Jindosh lock. It's a puzzle that they have in the game. It's almost like a riddle. And as soon as I encountered it, I sat there for about like 15 minutes charting things out in Excel.
Yeah.
And I actually got it on the first try, surprisingly. What I can basically say about that is it's a
Whatever.
lucky
You-
guess.
Whatever. You did a YouTube
It's a
lookup.
lucky
Just
guess.
admit it. You're not charting stuff out in Excel.
No.
Give me a break.
So this game does something a little bit different that I haven't seen any other game do, at least the ones that I've played. And that's that when they do have things like safe combinations to get into safes to get the goodies inside and such, and other various things like that, they're actually randomized. So a safe combination for you won't necessarily be the same for me. So you actually, like, for example, if you're looking to get a safe combination, you can't just YouTube the safe combination. and get that item, you actually really need to go and find where the combination is actually given to you, and then use it. I guess it's kind of the same thing, it's just a couple more steps in some respects. But yeah, more Dishonored 2, loving the game, fantastic game, and that's about it for me. Next,
All right.
there's
I'll go next. I played Battlefield 1 a little bit. Big patch coming out tomorrow, which will be fun. But it was double XP all weekend for Titanfall 2. So I hopped on there and I think I went from 31 to 40. Just played a lot of Titanfall 2. So double XP is over, but I think I have like 30 or so. I think I have like 30 or so double XP things from like entering codes and stuff. So I'll still be running some double XP for a while, but trying to reach 50 to get that first gen so I can catch up with Wing, but I don't know where he's at right now. Where are you at? What's your rank now, Mark?
I honestly don't know. I completely missed that double XP weekend. There was another game that grew into me and made me took my time away from Titanfall. I've genned up. I'm a Gen 2 something. It's low on Gen 2.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I was looking to take advantage of the double XP weekend and just was sidetracked by something else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all I played was. So what sidetracked you? What'd you play?
I played Dead Rising 4.
Oh, okay.
So, really had a good time with it. I actually beat it. Was it yesterday or Saturday? It wasn't yesterday. I think maybe it was. I don't know. It was this weekend. So I did complete the main story, but I took my time and I did a bunch of stuff and I didn't get everything done. So now I'm on my new game plus, I guess, and going back through the story and just kind of taking time and trying to do a bunch of the side stuff. So the game has a lot of there are a lot of issues for I didn't run anything game breaking, but I did run into stuff that, like, once I opened up a safe house in the mall, and you get these vendors in there that will sell you stuff. And I really don't need, you can buy vehicles, weapons, and food, but I don't really care about those vendors. To me, that's stupid because that stuff's all over the place. But there's also one that does locations, so you can buy maps from this person that will show you where all the blueprints, where all the different various things are that you can go and collect, and you got to earn money to buy them. And at one point in the game, all the vendors just disappeared, like they didn't show up anymore. And it was like, well, what the heck? I can't buy these things anymore. I don't know why they all disappeared out of my safe houses.
It's a holiday.
Yeah, I guess they went home. I don't know. I've seen a lot of technical stuff. Just the game needs some polish. It is not polished very well, which is kind of frustrating. It wasn't nothing game breaking, like, but you clip through walls. I'd see a zombie in the middle of a wall. I'd see zombies in furniture, like, and it was just all kinds of weird stuff like that. Just, it was, the game's not been polished at all. The game does look good and it plays well. It is a very easy game. I did not find any difficulty settings, but it's like the final boss, I didn't die at all. The only times I died a couple times in the game, only because I was like not paying attention or didn't realize that my health bar had gone down, and one of the faster zombies charged in and took me out or something. But it was more of like stupid stuff, me not paying attention to my health bar, and using like a first aid or eat my food real quick. But I died very few times, and the game was really easy, which is surprising. Um, I like the game. I honestly think so. I never played Dead Rising 1 or 2. I tried to play Dead Rising 1 a long time ago. Couldn't get very far into it. I found it to be very difficult. Recently, I bought that triple pack, and I was like, all right, I'm getting geared up because I played Dead Rising 3 and loved it. 1K'd the game, loved it, spent lots of hours. Just every aspect of that game I had a lot of fun with. And I'm not one that likes timer-based games, which is what Dead Rising 1 and 2 had. So I bought the triple pack recently, tried to play Dead Rising, plan I'm going to play Dead Rising 1 and 2 before 4 comes out, and that way I've played all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got barely into Dead Rising 1, and I just couldn't get past like the first boss I had to go through, and I'm like, I didn't like the controls, they're terrible, and so I never played any more of them. I just like, whatever, this was a waste of $60. But I still stuck with Dead Rising 4. Now, I would say out of Dead Rising 3 and 4, 3 was my favorite. Um, 4 doesn't really provide much of a challenge. But then again, that's kind of nice when you're just trying to run around and you're trying to find locations and blueprints and, and stuff like that. So it's not really negative for me because I don't like overly hard. But when I went through and completed the game and never died once, I was like, wow, that is such a rarity. I think a lot of people won't like that. The other thing is, and I won't say anything that's to spoil, but I was shocked at the way the game ended. I was not expecting what happened, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it.
Lee was a zombie. Is that it?
Never gonna live that down, am I?
Yeah. I'm not like Braun. I'm not going to spoil the end of the game, but it just was when it happened. I was like, "What?" I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It was just I was sitting here talking to myself, and I was like, "Okay." I just really didn't know what to take on it. I still really don't know what to take about it, and we can talk off the show afterwards, off the record here. When we're done recording, I can talk with you guys about it if you don't plan to play it. But the one thing I noticed in this game is I used vehicles a lot in Dead Rising 3. And it seems like in this one, the vehicles you make aren't very fun. I've not come across one that I absolutely love. There was the one that I loved in DR3 was the motorcycle with like the, um, what is it called? Like, those like street rollers, like that
Yeah.
big
Oh yeah.
wheel they use to pave the roads or whatever.
Yeah,
Steamroller.
Like steamroller.
Yeah, it was like a steamroller mixed with a motorcycle, and that thing was awesome. I just rode that, and it had fire jets that would come out the front, so I could just run and light them up and roll them over. And I rode that thing everywhere. This game hasn't. It's like the combo vehicles. There's only a few, and it's like they're just not. It's like not a focus of the game anymore. Like I used them so much. And you could go in and build them into these garages, and you can build what you wanted, and they don't have that in this game anymore. It's like you can buy a vehicle from your vendor, if the vendors are there, until they glitch out and don't appear in your safe houses anymore, and or you can find them on the street and build them. But it's just like it seems like they're fewer and far between, and they're not as a big of a focus as they were in the third game. And I find myself mostly running around. I don't even bother with vehicles this time. They're just not as fun. If I'm in a vehicle, I'll jump in just a regular car and just mow zombies down. I don't even build the combo vehicles. They're just not worth the time. There is a lot of humor, and it was funny. There was a lot of things that I cracked up about. I did enjoy the game. It's just I think it was a bit of a letdown from the third one. I don't think it meets the quality, obviously the quality level of that one. But again, I'm still playing it. I'm going to be playing it. They took away co-op in the campaign, which I think is kind of lame. But then again, this game's not hard at all. You really don't need it. So I can see why they took it out from that aspect. But a lot of people like to still jump in with their friends and slay zombies. So that's gone. But they did put a multiplayer in, and the multiplayer actually is a lot of fun. So you can get in, you're basically in the mall, and at least you start out in the mall, and you can play with up to three other people. So there's 4 of you. You get a default character. You start out like in a store, and you can grab or craft weapons that are available there. And there's a machine you can run up and buy stuff from the vending machine to buy some items. And then the gate opens up, and you guys go out. And so what it is, like, there's objectives in the mall. Like things will come up, like kill so many zombies with ice weapons. Go take pictures of these certain statues. And the funny one is, there's one that was hilarious, and your co-op partner has to get in one of those kiddie ride machines. You put the quarter in and it goes
Yeah.
back and forth. So he has to jump in there, and you got to take a picture of it, like four different rides.
Okay.
And it's so funny because the guy I was playing with a random, and he's like, "Okay, you're gonna go for the kiddie rides," and I was like, "Sure." So I ran over there, and then I was trying to take a picture. I was like, "Oh wait," and I reread the description. I was like, "Dude, you're gonna have to come over here and get in the ride." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you got to be in the ride, and I have to take a picture of you in it." So that was fun. We had a good time, and there's different. So you complete. So you're doing these missions, these little kind of things that you do, and then you got to get to the safe house in a certain amount of time, and then you can go into the next mission, if you will. And there's different episodes that you can play and unlock, and you get different power ups or bonuses in the multiplayer that you don't have in the campaign. And then you're leveling up in the multiplayer is it's different, completely different. So you start out like I was like a level 75, I think, in the campaign. You rank up real fast. But there's still stuff to unlock. Like I don't have all the skill tree done yet. But you rank up a lot quicker than you did in Dead Rising 3. And when you go into the multiplayer, you're at a 0. But you rank up real fast. I don't know where I'm at in the multiplayer. I'm probably like a 17, 18 or something like that. But it was fun. If people got it and they want to play the multiplayer, hit me up. I will. I do want to play some more of that. I really enjoyed that. Um, but I would, if you didn't buy the game yet, I would honestly say with this one, wait till it drops a few bucks. This game's gonna be all these games go on sale so quick.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen AAA titles that are worthy of the $60 go on sale the week after they've been released. This is getting a little ridiculous, but I honestly expect this game to be down to $40 here probably in a couple of weeks.
Well,
Um,
I'm sure they're going to have a Christmas sale. So who knows?
they might.
In a week, they might have something.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't feel like I didn't get my $60 and I'm still playing it and I still like it. It's just not as polished and I don't think it's not as good as Dead Rising 3 was. I'm gonna blame that because the game's coming to PlayStation 4, so they had to dumb it down for. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But no, it's not. It's. I think it's worth it. I mean, I had fun, but if you really liked 3, just know it's a pretty much kind of the same thing. Not a lot different. But you know, it will definitely give you lots of time. It took me, I think I spent 20 hours to complete my story, and then I immediately started up and went back with a new game and continued on. To try to get some of the other blueprints and build up my safe houses. And my vendors came back, so I was able to buy some more stuff, and I'm hoping to get all the little things bought before they magically disappear again.
Back from the
So,
holiday.
but now I'm going to take my time in between each case and just try to get as much stuff scoured. So I'm just kind of running around in the discovery mode at this point. It's not that it's not worth $60, but I could, there's games I say, oh, it's absolutely worth it. This one, you might want to find it if you're on the fence about it, then maybe wait a few weeks and get it when it's a little cheaper. If you really liked Dead Rising 3, then yeah, you're gonna like this game too. So, but I think that's about it. I mean, that's all I played. So,
All right. Well, moving forward, so we can get to the community. Two little notes that we always say to support the community. If you want to become a patron of the show, you can go to patreon.com/thisxboxlife or thisxboxlife.com/patreon. Or you can, and that's more like the monthly subscription. Everybody familiar with Patreon. Or you can leave us a tip at thisxboxlife.com/donate. So, nothing's expected, but everything is appreciated. Mr. Drano85 here. He's in the chat now. Donated $10 last time, so thank you very much. We appreciate it. Community time. So we asked the community to send questions, comments, voicemails, things like that in. The first thing I figured we would do was go through, I guess, the Facebook post on our group, which is thisxboxlife.com/Facebook. It is a closed group, but Mark put a post on there stating, we wanted to, you know, make this show for questions and stuff like that. So we have a list of questions in here to chat about. And the first one's really good. I like the first one. But this is Rob's territory, right? So Rob gets to read.
Yeah, Rob's got to do some time this week.
Well,
Man.
he's the
People
only
think
one that
he's
can
a
read.
robot.
So Rob, you're the only one that can read. So you can do it.
Apparently. I'm trying to find the post.
Oh yeah, it's about 3 or 4 down, I think.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, I
All
kept bumping it. So
Yeah. All right. This is from first one is from Drano85, correct? You're looking at the same thing?
Yep.
All right. Love listening to the show. I would like to know what game you could bring back from being canceled and why. Also was wondering your thoughts on the idea that games and the industry are starting to run out of innovative ideas, especially with the remaster and sequel craze that seems to be happening.
You mean the PlayStation craze?
Yes.
Okay.
The Hollywood phase.
Yeah, that's true. So we just have to
run.
the Hollywood phase when you're when you're remaking. If the lead character was a male, you make the lead character female, and if the lead character is a female, you make the lead character male. So Tomb Raider is going to be male driven. We'll call the guy
Tomb Dude.
Yeah, we'll call him Drake for instance. And then if it's Drake, we'll call Laura. So, but all right.
Actually, his first name's Nathan.
Oh, sorry, Nathan Drake. All right. Sorry. But good games I've heard. I'd love to play them, but I don't own a PlayStation quite yet. So.
Hey, Bron. So, what game would you bring back after being canceled?
Oh, I gotta go first.
Yes.
Okay.
You should have been prepared.
I'm
all
prepared.
The questions in a window, in a notepad with my answers. I was prepped for this show.
Oh, I know this answer though.
Okay.
Every time I hear something like this, I always go back to the same game, and this game was pre 9/11. It was, I think it actually came out in 2001, and it was made by EA. And you want to talk about innovative and stuff? This was way before its time, and it's called.
Wait! You said the game was out?
Yeah, and it got canceled.
Wait, if it came out,
how did it get
canceled?
Well, do you want me to explain it, and then I can explain why it was canceled?
I know. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Now I know. All right. I'm on. Yes.
Okay.
This is fair. You can use this.
Okay.
All
right.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, it was innovative because it was like, it was augmented would you call it augmented reality? But it was called Majestic.
Yeah.
And it was made by EA. And what this game is it was kind of like this conspiracy theory type PC game where you would sign up, and they were going to have multiple like different episodic stories and stuff. But you would put in your cell phone number. At the time, there was pagers, and all that information, and you would download an app, and the app was almost like it was a web browser, which then kind of like what happened is I had a person call me on my phone, and it was a recording. And they told me to go to a website, and they sent me emails, and they sent you text messages, and they just did all this stuff. Like you were actually playing the game all of the time. If you guys want to look it up or whatever, go look up Majestic. It was by EA. And the reason why I stated that was, and yes, it came out, but it was like just coming out in 2001. And what happened is 9/11. And since this was very conspiracy theory, terrorist type game or whatever, they canceled it. It didn't even make it to the second. I think the second episode. It was just they scrapped it right then and there, and one of the reasons why was due to the recent events.
I was in the beta for that, and I remember being in the middle of a Home Depot and getting a phone call.
Yeah,
from the game.
Yeah,
and I couldn't hear it because of the it was too loud in Home Depot.
Yeah,
and then I was just like, this is not gonna work. I'm like, this is. So I ended up not dropping out and not even bothering with it because it was like, the idea is kind of cool, but when you're in the middle of shopping, you get a phone. You can't always stop to play a game or You know, it's just I don't think it worked very well. But
Yeah,
I thought the idea was cool.
yeah, and the funny part was like for me, they had a bunch of options when you put your phone number in. I was on West Coast time in the game, even though I live in Ohio. And what happened is the game called me at like 1 a.m. and woke me up. Like I jumped out of bed, and all I have is this like woman on the other end of the phone going, "I'm glad I finally got a hold of you," and it's like freaked me out, you know. So it really did its job there because it woke me up out of my sleep, and then here it is, this person thinking like some conspiracy theories going on. But like the application you would install on your computer.
Your wife's like, "Who's that calling you?"
Well, I wasn't married then. I was just in high, you know, I was just in college at that point. Um, but the thing is like the application that you installed on your computer to make it feel like it was a web browser with today, because I'm a web developer, in today's web browser and the technology we have, like you wouldn't need an app. Like you could run it in a web browser, and then for your phone, like you could have an iPhone app or a mobile app to do it. It would almost be like it'd be like Watch Dogs, to be honest. Like Watch Dogs, you know, reminds me of something like where everything's connected and stuff like that. Like I would love to see Majestic come back. And when I hear this question asked, like, what's some game that you'd want to bring back? Majestic is always the one that I would want to bring back because, you know, going on to his second question is like, you know, are they losing innovative and stuff like that was innovative at the time. I still think it's something different and would love to see it come back. But that's mine.
All right. Well, I said that I wanted to. So when we saw this question last week, and Jesus Walks a Lot sent me a link to a page that lists. It's a website that lists all these games that have been canceled. I sat here scrolling through a bunch of stuff because it's like you tend to forget about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, totally.
And I came across one that was like, oh, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes. And that was Rainbow Six Patriots.
I knew you were going to say that.
and it was the original Rainbow Six Patriots, not their last version that they were going to release. Because when they first did it, I thought, it was pretty much after Rainbow Six Vegas 2. I was loving that series. I wanted more. And then Patriots was just kind of like the next version. And then, so like when at first I was excited about it first. And then they came out with this whole where this dude, I remember the trailer at E3 where this guy was like on the bridge and he was going to kill someone and you're like the cop and you got to decide. It was this whole thing like, do you take the shot and kill this guy? Or, and if you do, then it's like you're going to see the repercussions of, oh, he had kids and a wife and now they lose their home because their dad is dead and he can't pay the bills. And, or if you don't shoot him, and that was like the result if you didn't, like, but if you did shoot him, but then if you didn't, then he ended up like killing other people on that bridge. It was one of those, it's kind of like it reminds me of like the Walking Dead games. Like there is no good choice. You were forced to make a choice of two really bad decisions. Which one are you going to go with? And I thought that was really kind of cool and kind of like to be in, kind of to really put yourself in the shoes of a guy in a SWAT team or something. Like, does he take that shot? What's the impact of that? So I thought that was neat. But then they turned that game into something that it was all about middle America rising up against the corporate guys and the housing market collapse and how the fat cats got rich. And so all these people, like, basically rebelling against all these businesses. And then the next trailer, so the first one I liked. Then they go to the next E3 and we see this group storm into this building and shoot the CEO and kill him. And like, it was all okay. And I'm like, this is terrible. This is not, I really didn't like that. I thought that was really, whether I would agree with that or not, like, I definitely don't agree with people getting rich off, the little guy, but that's not a game that, there's just lines you don't cross, and I felt like they crossed the line. So I was glad the game ultimately didn't come out, but I would love to see like the original cop viewpoint type of game, not the whole CEOs and big business is bad.
Yeah, I remember the bridge. Like anytime I think of Patriots, I remember the bridge because for some reason I almost think like, didn't he jump off the bridge at one point or was falling toward the water or something? I can't remember, but I remember the bridge part of it. So,
It was a long time ago. I just remember
oh,
that, yeah, and you had to make a choice. And that was what the game was kind of gonna. That was what they were gonna innovate with. That was gonna be what was gonna be different, is make you make decisions and kind of see and then the game would develop or progress based on the decisions that you made. You not killing him could impact you later, or doing killing him, or depending on when you did it, if you waited and you didn't get him, and then he starts running towards people, and then you tried it, you might hit the bomb he has and take out someone else, and you should have done it right away when he was away from people. So I think that was kind of cool idea. But yeah, so that's the game I would bring back, the original idea. How about you, Rob?
So this is something that I kind of struggled with just because it's so hard for me to remember, like, what was canceled and what just is on hold, what just they never continued it. So like you guys, I went through a couple of lists, and some of the lists were garbage, and others were better. And I thought I would just narrow it down to something more recent because it's easier to remember that stuff. At least it is for me. So I basically went through some lists that had Xbox One titles that were canceled. And the one that kind of disappointed me the most out of the bunch, and I don't think there was a whole lot really that was, canceled for the Xbox One, but the one that kind of stands out the most is, I think it was about a year ago, the studio that did, oh, what was what was that game that had that little kid with the marker and he was saving his brother?
Max and the Curse of the Brotherhood
Yes.
by Press
So
Play Studios.
yeah, Press Play. That's them. So they held a like fan voting thing. Remember that? Where
Oh
you got to
yeah.
vote on their next project.
Yep.
And so I really enjoyed Max Curse of the Brotherhood. It was innovative. It was something different. And most importantly, it was fun. They came out with Kalimba after that. Kalimba was interesting. It's like a little puzzle game, two people working together, except for the fact that it's like near impossible to play. The game was interesting enough, and it could be fun. At least it'll get you to the point of where you'll choke whoever you're playing with. Because like, why can't you do that? And you have to keep redoing the same thing over and over and over and over again because they don't got mad skills like you do. But anyway, um, I was really interested to see what like their next title would be, just because when a studio comes out with something good, you'd like to think that they can continue that and come up with something else that is either equally as good or maybe equally as innovative. So this got canceled like within weeks of actually being chosen, didn't it? The game is
right.
called Knoxville, by the way. And so they went through this voting procedure. They announced the winner, and then they like canceled the whole project, and the studio got closed. So that was kind of a disappointment for me, and it was kind of like a little. I almost like consider them like a little indie studio, but they did such a great job with Max Curse of the Brotherhood that I would have loved to see more from them. Outside of that, I did want to make mention of an entire series that I think pretty much got canceled, and that was Medal of Honor. And Medal of Honor, like the original one, I just loved it.
Yeah.
I thought they.
You know why
What?
they fell apart, right?
What? Why?
Well, because they went and made Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. But I mean, Medal of Honor just kind of disappeared. In my mind, it's basically effectively been canceled for the most part. And I enjoyed those games a lot. Call of Duty's okay, but for some reason, Medal of Honor has like a different feel to me. And then there was one more that I did want to mention. What the heck was it? Oh, that Star Wars game with Boba Fett. Uh, Star Wars 1313 or something like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Oh
agree with
yeah,
that
yeah.
one, too.
Yep.
Yeah, Star
That
Wars
was
1313. That was it. So this was supposed to, you're like, we really have what? Star Wars Battlefront, and I think that's about it. The Xbox One, Star Wars related,
Yeah.
outside of Lego games. But
Oh yeah, the Lego games.
yeah, so Star Wars 1313, you were, I think, like a young Boba Fett kind of doing his thing. And that did seem like an interesting premise. And
I
that
didn't.
definitely, what's that?
You sure you were Boba Fett? I thought you were just like some random dude.
Or something like that. I
I'll
let
have
me
to look that
see.
one up now.
You guys remember? Obviously, you
Oh,
know what? Oh, go ahead.
yeah. So revolves around Boba Fett in his early adulthood.
Oh, okay.
So that thing got canceled, what, like a year or two ago? But December 2015, so a year ago it got canceled, looks like. Maybe a little bit earlier. So we will never see that.
Yeah. There's two other games that like are popping in my mind. Like you obviously know everybody knows what StarCraft is, but do you remember the StarCraft Ghost game?
No.
Oh, it's years ago, but it looked like it was like a first person or a third person game instead of an RTS. That one was kind of disappointing because I know a lot of people were excited about that. But uh, Uber Entertainment, I don't know if you guys have heard of Uber Entertainment, but they made a game. It's like an RTS called Planetary Annihilation,
Oh yeah.
and they it's an RTS game with everything, but you can fly off the planet onto another planet and then start building bases there, and you can actually get to the point where you can take that planet and rocket it into the other planet to blow up
Hmm.
that planet if that's where the other guy was. Um,
Yeah.
but that game was really cool. But they were kickstarting a second game called Human Resources, and I was into that game. I was like, I could, and they end up canceling it. But Human Resources was like another RTS looking game, but it's like robots or aliens landed on the planet, and the resources for them to collect to build stuff was humans. So it was human resources.
People?
Yeah, it was people. So like you would see them like snatching these people and eating them, or like picking
Nice.
out these people. But it was called Human Resources, and I think you can probably go.
Soylent Green is people.
Yeah, you can probably go find. I'll have to see if I can find and share it with you guys later, but or maybe in the post too on Facebook. But Human Resources, I'll have to see if I can find the trailer for it because it was pretty funny. I was really looking forward to it, and they end up canceling it.
Yeah.
So,
Because the Total Annihilation guys, those are the ones that made Supreme Commander, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's on backwards compatibility. I could have sworn I saw it in
is it? Do they
my
make
list.
Yeah, I think so.
Uber Entertainment?
All right, but
They,
let's move on to the second part of his question. We're still on the first question.
yep.
So he was asking about if the games industry is starting to run out of innovative ideas with the remasters and the sequel craze. My thoughts were I don't think that they're running out of ideas. I think what we're seeing right now is the norm when new consoles come out, everybody remasters for the new hardware. But we're now over 3 years. We're into that fourth year. So I hope that these remasters stop. Of course, I still want Bulletstorm full clip edition. Um, that one I will take. But I hope we do see less of it in 2017. But I don't know. Do you guys? I think we're still seeing innovative ideas, and especially with VR coming out, I think we're gonna see even more of that. Um, but what do you guys think?
I think a lot of the innovative ideas are coming out of the smaller studios.
Yep.
So they're not really limited to the AAA titles anymore. The AAA titles seem to be cookie cutter, turnkey, grind out more of the same.
Yeah.
But the little studios, they're the ones taking the chances.
Yeah, I mean the thing that jumps out at me is you look at first person shooters. Um, you look at first-person shooters, and what you have is, you have your Battlefields and your Call of Duties and Titanfall, and Titanfall tried to do something new. Call of Duty or Battlefield is going World War One, which is something a little different. It's still a first-person shooter, but they're trying to do something different. And then Call of Duty's doing Call of Duty, and all three games
But
are,
in space.
but in space, yeah. But all three games are good, and it's really funny. Like Titanfall 2 was not only a finalist for Game of the Year on the Game of the Year award show or whatever, but it's also a nominee for Game of the Year from IGN. And I find it funny, like Battlefield is not there. Like Battlefield is trouncing both of those games, and it's not even considered anywhere in anything, and which is strange. And I love both.
It's because it's cop.
I love Titanfall and I love Battlefield, and it's just I believe Titanfall should be there. I just kind of find it's crazy that Battlefield is not. But I think there's still innovation. I think companies and,
Ron, Battlefield is nothing more. It's the same game we've been playing for years, just with a few tweaks and a new paint job on it.
yeah,
That's all it really is. It's
yeah. But I mean,
know,
the first-person shooter genre, like, there's no innovation there. That's not where I've been going. Like, the innovation in my mind are studios like that's making like The Last of Us and Days Gone, and I'm trying to think of an Xbox one here.
yeah. I was like, throw out an Xbox game here with you.
Well, I know, but I mean, like, story-driven. Like, Inside was good, but that leads to what Rob was saying is, they're not a big studio. I think Mass Effect is still innovative when their new one comes out. But yes, when you get into the series of games like Dead Rising and Battlefield and Call of Duty, like, no, there's not real innovation there. It is cookie cutter. It's doing what they do. But as far as going out and like the remasters and stuff, like take Halo Wars. Halo Wars 2 is coming out. They're remastering the first version. You get it if you buy Halo Wars 2.
Right.
Stuff like that. If you're remastering and trying to sell it for $60, I kind of have a problem with it. I mean, I know, and plus everybody's like, well, everybody has their one or two games, right? Like even myself, like if you want to bring out all three Mass Effects and sell them for $40, okay, I'll do something like that. But everything else, like this Crash Bandicoot stuff and crap like that, I'm just like, come on. I mean, I know it's nostalgia and stuff like that, but those are money grabs. And Mark said it right when he said we're 4 years in, and you got games like Final Fantasy VII remake, you got Crash Bandicoot coming out, and it's just remake after remake after remake. It's just like, to me, you're only doing that because you don't have anything else, and you are innovative, and you are running out of stuff. So, but that's my thought on it.
All right, Rob. Next question.
Yep.
All right. Next one is voicemail. We can do that one.
Oh, we've got. No, there's a whole bunch of them in the Facebook. We're still.
Yeah, I'm looking at the second one is.
Oh, no, skip it. He's
skip that
later
one?
on. Yeah, he's later
Gotcha.
on.
Okay.
Go
All
to
right.
John.
What games? So this one is from John. What games offer the best co-op gameplay? Of those, which are the best couch co-op? So by couch co-op, what is that? Like two people playing on the same couch?
Yep, same screen. That's.
Same screen?
I think it's tough to do these days.
Well, there's one that sticks out
What's that?
for couch co-op. Rocket League.
Oh, is that couch co-op? You can do.
You can
that's right.
split
It
screen
is. That's right.
Yeah.
It does have split screen. That's right. Yeah, that would actually probably be one of the best cooperative split couch co-op games.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
think
fast.
Yeah.
It's fast. You can play with anybody
Fun.
as long as you want.
Because some of the best cooperative games I put down, Watch Dogs 2, I had a blast in the cooperative missions. And again, if anybody's out there looking for someone to play some co-op missions, hit me up. I absolutely loved playing that because you can go in and tackle, enemy fortress or whatever, you go into to their hideouts or whatnot. You can attack stuff from different angles, and like one guy can go in and get what he needs, while the other person's using the little drone and scouting guys. And that's what happened. I had somebody helping me scouting stuff out and was warning me and alerting me to where guys were and watching where I was. And together we were able to get in and get the whatever we were trying to steal and get back out. And it was so fun. I absolutely love that. Um, I also thought of Diablo 3.
Oh.
It's not,
Yeah.
that is just absolutely fun. You get a group of people in there and just go at it and hack and slash. And I think Gears 4 Horde mode is a lot of fun. And I like it works if you get in as a team. This new one's designed to be cooperative, where you select different class loadouts and different bonuses to help take advantage. So, like, you get the guy that can run out and let one guy collect all the money. The guy that I think it's a scout who has like a bonus card that he can apply to get bonus money for depositing it. So you gain more money for your team if you let this one guy collect it all. And then you have like the engineer, let him build the base defenses because he builds them cheaper. So if you work together and you have your sniper and your heavy and your scout and your engineer, you can really do a great job, and everybody gets to fill their job role. And it's really satisfying. Even though as an engineer, I played a lot and I'm just sitting back while everybody else is killing and I'm not going to pick up any of the money. The money doesn't matter because it's all for the team. But I'm defending, and a lot of time I'm just building stuff, or while guys are on the turrets I built, I'm running around repairing them in mid-battle. So I don't get to shoot a lot, but I'm still racking up a ton of points and helping the team by keeping the turrets healthy. And then it's really fun. I really enjoyed that. So, but I didn't have a couch co-op selection, but yeah, Rocket League absolutely would, fit in there. Other than that, because my kids, they would say Monopoly, because they all play Monopoly together.
Yeah, Rocket League's awesome as far as couch co-op, but I think some of the other co-op games, you would have Destiny, and also I would also put the Division in there, as fun, fun co-op and things like that.
Yes, absolutely, the Division.
And I had one more in my head, and I can't remember what it was.
Well, on the lighter side,
Siege.
Yep, that was my other one. And that one, like with doing a strategy and everything, Siege is probably, I'd say Siege, between Siege and Division. I don't know. I think Siege is probably, like, when you're talking about co-op and working together and things like that, and feeling successful when you win, that's probably the best one. But
a little bit on the lighter side, there's a series of games that I think are fantastic co-ops, just about every single one of them, and that's the Lego games.
Yeah.
So they're family friendly and surprisingly fun. All of them. Humorous too.
Dorino says Chariot is a great couch co-op game too.
Oh yes. It's another one. Very good. I would like to mention Kalimba, but it's too impossible. Too hard to play. It's more couch frustration. Okay, we done with that one?
Yep.
Okay, next one is from Skin. Skin writes in, my earliest gaming memory was a Donkey Kong machine with my dad back in the early 80s in a pub on a caravan park. I've been hooked on games since for the best part of 40 years. What are each of yours earliest gaming memories? Can you guys think that far back?
Yeah, mine was going to Chuck E. Cheese and playing Zaxxon and Pac-Man and Moon Patrol and Lunar Lander and having some of the best pizza ever known to mankind.
Oh, it was.
When you were a kid, man, that was awesome stuff.
You know what? So whether it's Chuck E. Cheese or around here around Chicago, we had Showbiz Pizza. Either of those two, I'm convinced that the pizza today is not the same as it was
Oh, I
40
know.
years ago. It has to be different. It
It's
has to.
different. Has to be.
It was
But,
so delicious back then. They must have changed it.
but I just remember playing like Zaxxon was my favorite, and I sucked at it. I could never play it. It was that 3D ship that you would have to move, and I could never clear the first board. I kept trying and trying, and I loved because it had that the stick wasn't a normal joystick. It was like an actual. It felt like it was shaped like a controller from an
Oh yeah.
airplane. I remember playing Tempest, with the spinner dial and just going to Chucky and getting all those tickets. You go in there and get your meal, and here's 50 free tokens, and they're golden coins, and it's like you hit the jackpot, and your eyes light up, and you just go, man, and you just play games. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's I think that really kind of started me off.
Yeah, kind of,
oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I was,
Okay, so
go ahead. You go.
Rob,
you go,
go.
Rob.
okay,
Rob,
I will
Rob,
go
go.
for sure this time. So for me also it was the arcade machines in a couple of different avenues, I guess. So first off, I did go to a lot of Chuck E. Cheese pizza time something, I think it was called. It was something special. It wasn't your normal Chuck E. Cheese. Because like I said, we didn't have very many of those around here. We had Showbiz. That was the main one that we had here in Chicago area. And also Showbiz, which I mean they were effectively the same thing.
Right.
But the big difference back then in the 80s was that they had actual games. Now it's all like skee ball and
Yeah.
stuff that just generate tickets. Back
Right.
then you used tokens to play video games and they had all the classics like
And pinball.
yeah, yeah, they had all the classics, the pinball, and of course they had air hockey and such, but they would have Tutankhamun and Pac-Mans and Dragon's Lair and you name it. And it was just fantastic. I would go in there with like $10, and this is where I actually grew up as a latchkey kid back in the day. Stuff that's illegal nowadays. And my mom would actually, man, I don't even know how old I was. Maybe 10 years old, five. Well, not five. 10 years old, 8, 11, something like that. I would get dropped off at the place, and she would go shopping and come get me like an hour or two later. And I was in heaven. It was a great babysitting thing.
Now you can go to jail for doing
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. It's impossible. Probably because we don't teach our kids how to survive by themselves. But anyway, so, that was always something that I just to this day will remember. And it's something that unfortunately my son can't experience because that doesn't exist anymore. And then the other thing was right around the same time, I had a family friend who used to go to a lot of conventions. And so here in the Chicago area, we would have the Arcade Machine Operator Association. I think that was, or AMA, AMOA, something like that, convention, where it was basically all of the companies that made these games would come to this convention and they would show off what they had coming out in the next year. So it's basically like an E3, but for coin operated machines. So he used to take me with him, and it was fantastic. Just loved it. We went the whole day. You got to play all of the games for free because they were all unlocked. And I would just come home with like piles of magazines and handouts and little, what do they call it, swag, stuff that they give away. And that was something that was just so amazing. I always looked forward to it every year when it would come to town, and it was just so much fun. And I spent the next couple of weeks just going through everything and just drooling over the games that are coming out. And of course, those games pale in comparison to everything that we have nowadays. But back in the 80s, it was definitely something special, something amazing. And how about you, Brun?
Cool. Well, I'm getting old, so the earliest gaming memory I had is I played Titanfall 2 this weekend. No, one thing I remember is I took all my birthday money and went and bought a Nintendo and just NES. What everybody goes out and buys now, the NES Classic, mini NES Classic. Like it was original Nintendo, it came with Mario and Duck Hunt. And I remember getting home and hooking
The
it
light
up.
gun.
Yeah, and the light gun. Yeah, I remember getting it all and hooking it up in the room. So actually, I live in the house I grew up in. My wife and I bought it from my parents. So my room was where my son sleeps now, but and then my room was actually a gaming room or like a TV room, and I had it all hooked up there. But across the hallway was my bedroom, and after we got it all hooked up and everything, my mom was like, "It's bedtime." So I had to go and lay in bed, and the thing is I could hear my brother playing my Nintendo
Oh,
across the
Oh.
hall.
Oh,
That's
man.
what I remember. I got to play maybe 10 minutes of it, and then had to go to bed. But that's one of my early memories, and I also remember playing some Atari before that. Um, I think we talked about it before, like the tank game or whatever the tank.
Combat.
Is that what it was? And it was like
It's called Combat.
yeah, and
Yep.
so like I remember playing a couple of those games and Pong, but yeah, that Nintendo was my earliest like real gaming memory. So, but yeah, cool. Next,
okay. Next is from Monkey Punch 77. What will be the price for Scorpio? And I love the podcast. Like always, great content.
Well, since we don't know, I'm going to predict it's going to be $500, and there will not be a Kinect offered with it, and there's no VR, or you're going to be able to buy it bundled with a VR headset for $700. This is my guess. I don't know.
Rob.
5 and 7.
I will say it's $499.
Oh, you know what I'm saying.
And yeah, $499 and
$699.
just for the base console. And then as soon as you are an early adapter, they're going to drop the price in half and offer it with like all sorts of games and bundles.
I say $299 or $349 at the most.
No way.
So,
It's a premium console.
hey, they want it. They're gonna be
You
by
were
them.
smoking crack.
They gotta be, but they're gonna be by themselves. And the Xbox One came out at $499, and look what happened. So
They said it's a premium console, so I still don't believe it's going to be. That'd be great if it was.
Yep.
I'll be happy, but
I mean, I guess the only thing is they wouldn't have any competition at that point in time that we know of as of right now.
well, Sony's going to try and say the Pro is the competition.
That's not.
We
the
already know it's
competition.
not.
No, it's not.
already not.
I mean,
The hardware's far advanced on the Scorpio. So.
you know, and right. And the thing is like, a lot of people are, I mean, they're selling pros, but I think a lot of the people that are buying the pros are the people that already own a PlayStation, because they also have the PlayStation Slim, which would be what the competitor to the Xbox One S is.
But again, it's not even. They don't even match up.
Right. Well, and even the S has stuff that the PlayStation Pro doesn't even have. So.
Right.
But I mean, I understand, and I'm just throwing out a price that I think that if they want to wow people and they want those things to fly off the shelf,
No,
they take a
Is
loss.
that what you honestly think that's the price?
Yeah, I
You
honestly
think they're going to
do.
go that low?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're going to take a loss.
I hope you're right.
Me too. I mean, and I'm just being. I mean, I'm not trying to be crazy or anything. I know I may sound crazy.
You are crazy.
But my thing is Microsoft's got way more money than Sony does, and if they took a loss on every console at the beginning, and made it up in their games and everything like that, then I think that's kind of what they have to do. And I mean, I know what they say is going to be in that box, but that's all stuff that exists like today. Like they're putting components that are in there in there today. So I mean, I really think it could be as low as $299, but maybe $349. I think the $349 is probably more likely. But they already did $499 with the Xbox One, and look at them now; they're $250 now. And I know we're 3 years in, but I mean,
yeah,
I think they would have to take a loss. Like they keep saying, well, this is the most powerful console. This is this, and they
Well,
want to blow everybody away. Well, that's
But
how you blow everybody away.
they,
you can't win by losing your bank account either. So
Well, no,
yeah, and
you win by selling more. Obviously, that's, I mean, because only the totals matter, not the games that you have or anything like that. It's just the total number of sales. But
go ahead,
so
Rob.
yeah,
this is definitely a tough one because I would expect it to be like 499 ish because again, it's a premium product. If you want the regular experience, if you want the cheap experience, you go with Xbox One S. You look at the controllers. What does like a regular controller go for? I think what they listed for $50,
59.
$50 or $60.
59, yeah, $60. There's people that are paying without any issue. They're paying $90 for a customized one. They're paying exactly, yeah, they're
that looks
just like that one.
that looks just like it, except it's got my gamer tag here, and this is
Yes,
blue. And that's all. Well, and these are blue. But yeah, we paid 90 for it, and some
yeah,
people are paying 150 for the elite,
absolutely.
unless
And
you
that
win.
right there,
TXL.
yeah. So there, I mean, that the Elite controller is something that's like more than double the price of the regular controller. So
But the
people
elite,
will,
yeah,
but
the elite controller does something more than a regular controller with
So does the Scorpio.
with the
So does the
paddles.
Scorpio. It. Think about it this way, Bron.
Mm-hmm.
Surface tablets are freaking expensive. They're more than double the friggin' price of an iPad. The Surface Book, the brand new Microsoft Surface Studio, $4,000 for that computer. It's a premium product.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the Scorpio is going. They are putting this in. They're not doing this to compete with Sony. They are offering a super high-end, true VR experience. If you want to go the cheap route, then get your Sony and go with the cheaper, low-end VR headsets, or stick if you don't want VR. You can either get it the right way or stay out of it and go with an Xbox One non-Scorpio.
Yeah, I always forget
That's
about,
the way I see it.
Yeah, I always forget about the VR part because VR gaming to me just doesn't exist yet.
Because it's not true yet, and that's what the
Right.
Scorpio is going to give you, and you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Out
Like,
the gate, you're going to pay for it. It is not going to come out at the same price as an S.
yeah. Well,
This will not be the replacement.
Yeah, like, well, to me, an S drops to like 99 once the Scorpio
I
comes
don't
out.
even think that. I don't even think that.
Mm.
This will stay. This will stay where PS4 is at. You know, maybe next holiday, maybe you get another $50 off, but you ain't hitting $99 yet.
Yeah. Other than VR, I just think it's hard to say, give us $500 more for a console that plays the same games as the one you have now. That's all. That's my struggle. Like I said, I keep forgetting about VR. But unless they have Scorpio only games, you're just like, it's Halo. It's either Halo in 4K or Halo not in 4K, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing something out there.
He's with you. He's saying $399. He says you can't do it $5. You said you can't say true VR when Sony already has VR. Jesus, the Sony VR does not compete or will compare to true VR. It is a very low end VR system, and there's going to be big differences. So,
yeah. You're
and
bigger.
Bill said it. This is a premium product. He said that specifically. I think that they said that at E3. They don't mistakenly throw words out there. Everything's scripted. Everything's said a very specific way. It is premium. That means right there, that tells you it's going to have a big price tag on it.
Yeah.
Be prepared, And I don't think $500 is that big for everything that thing's going to be able to do.
yeah, because they said the Elite controller was a premium product, and look where it fell in, more than double.
$150. So
Yeah, but
anyways, we don't know. It's
Yeah.
not worth us going on for an hour on this because
No.
we don't know. It's our guess. I would love Brun to be right.
No, I mean, me too.
Sure.
It'll be it'll be an easier fight for me at the end of next year trying to explain to the wife why I need a third Xbox when I just bought an S this year. So.
Yeah. My hard part with that is as much as I love Xbox and everything is, I know that Halo, the next Halo, will be playable on my PC. I know every Gears of War will be playable on my PC. I know, because every first party game is going to be playable on both. And I think 499 is a hard sell to say I'm going to have something that my PC does just as well, if not better. But like I said, I forget about VR all the time when I kind of go into this argument of like, well, what's Scorpio going to do that everything else doesn't do? But yeah, I mean, I would love to be right too. So, yeah, what's the next
Now,
one? Okay.
when you talk about losses, though, so even if they do, let's say, lose 200 per console, if they price it low enough so it actually costs a lot more to produce than what they sell it for,
Mhm.
that would still probably be cheaper than what they had to deal with the Red Ring.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, true.
So if they want to get the market penetration, they could price it super cheap. We would love to see it, but I don't know
Yeah,
if it makes sense in the long term.
yeah, and I just think it'd be cool to do something that makes every like gamers in general, whether you have if what if you don't have an Xbox and you came out with the Scorpio, which is obviously a premium product. We know it's going to be fantastic. It's going to have a ton of hardware in it. And you say something like 299, like if a person it'd be crazy for somebody to be like, "Oh, I'm not going to buy it. It's not worth it." What do you No, you can't say it's not worth it. At 299, but that's all I'm saying is like that's how you just make everybody in awe and shock and stuff like that. So, but all right.
The smart thing for them to do would be to price it in such a way that it not only gets the premium gamers, but it's close enough to make people upgrade.
Well, true. Yeah, true.
Because there's a lot of people, like for example, if it's $500 and I don't have a 4K TV, I'm not really going to be that interested in it.
Yeah. We're
But if
putting
it's close enough and cheap enough, you'll make up some excuse.
yeah. Wing's already buying it. That's why we're boring him.
Yeah, that's right. He's got his pre-order in.
So.
We're spending way too much time. He just said, "What's your thoughts on what it costs?" We're spending 30 minutes on fighting on this, and none of us know.
Yeah.
Oh, their thoughts.
Man. Oh, it's good.
All right.
I don't know.
Okay. Next one is from
I'm
Skin.
sorry.
Next one is from Skin. Skin writes in, can we ask more than one question? Yes. What do you think, Mark?
Yes.
I'm just
Next
sure.
question.
Yeah. All right. So Mirage8531 writes in, what is the feature or features that you would like to see added to the Xbox One, such as hardware or peripherals, or to Xbox Live? Forget things like game sharing with multiple friends. I've seen that mentioned previously by Microsoft when they first announced Xbox One. Of course, we all want that. Forget about VRs as well, since Scorpio is probably going to take care of that itch should it need to be scratched. Think outside of the box on this. What is something that would be useful, unique, or new, possibly a total game changer for the industry? I know it's asking a bit much. Who knows, maybe the right person will hear your ideas on the show and make it a reality.
Like making us work. Guess I didn't read the whole question.
This is
You had to hit C more there, didn't you?
yes.
Yeah, I guess I didn't see that. I only read part of it.
Yeah, this is the segment of the show that we can call this Xbox Think Tank.
Well, I'll tell you what I had, and then I guess he's not gonna like it. I would like to see an Xbox get a service that it's from Microsoft that would allow me to drop my cable TV and just get all my shows via them. So kind of like a Hulu or a Netflix, but maybe like a Microsoft service. I mean, they got the guide built in. They wanted to be the TV set. They wanted to be that box. Where's the service that I can just, pay an extra whatever a month or a year for my Xbox Live service to just get my TV from them? get my channels from them. I would also, and then we can attach a hard drive. You can attach two external hard drives. I can make one specific. I want a DVR. Um, but then again, I may not even need DVR functions if I can stream everything. Um, I'd kind of like to get to the point where everything's just in the cloud. Microsoft's pushing cloud. They have the capability to do this. They've done TV stuff in the past. Why not just basically become like a cable provider or TV programming provider for all those devices in the homes? And then all we need is internet, and we don't need cable anymore. Um, and then I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I want a digital video game rental service. I want GameFly digital version. Why can't Microsoft offer us the ability to say, okay, you want to try Dishonored 2? You can rent it from us for whatever. I'll pay you $20 a month, and I can download one game or play one or two games at a time. If I want to go and get a third one, boom, you got to delete one off your hard drive or something. I'm perfectly fine. I'd love to see that. I'd love to have that ability. Um, I used to use GameFly a lot, and I would use it now if we had a digital version. I'd still do that. So, and I do think if Microsoft could do some kind of uh, deal with like GameFly that was only on Xbox, or they just did it themselves, they did something, where they created that would be very enticing to other people. If they could do something like that, that wouldn't be hard for others to tack on their own service, but be the first one to do it. Sorry, I didn't think outside the box though.
Yeah, I mean Sony's doing well with their Sony View, I think is their cable type thing. I know a couple of people at work that use that. Um, but I do like the GameFly. I'd like to see like digital rentals. I mean, not just first party or anything, but a digital rental service. I think that would be cool as well. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
Robbie,
All
you
right.
didn't think outside the box?
No, I can't think outside the box.
He only thinks outside the bun.
Yes.
Oh,
All
and
right.
I want to answer the next one. This one's all me.
Okay. Um, why is Rob your favorite guest host? This came in from Jason.
That's not what he said.
All right. Who is your favorite guest host?
It's everyone other than Jason. Jason's our good buddy Democulus.
Yes.
No, I thought about this. I was like, man, we can't answer that. That's like, that's not fair. That's but when I know we usually ask people that when they come on, we make them answer who's your favorite host. I thought it was only fair that we did answer this. For me, it's not a favorite. I mean, I love everybody. I really enjoy all you guys, but I really did enjoy when Andrew and is it Robert from Australia? Oh, I hate that I probably said his name wrong. The two brothers from Australia when they came on with you guys.
Yeah.
And talked, and I really enjoyed hearing them, hearing the differences. Like, I mean, we just, we're all like, games are $60 and internet and all this, and we take all this for granted to find out, like, on the other side of the world, the high cost these guys pay, for all these things, and just the way the gaming is different and how they, it's not the same everywhere. And I thought that was so neat to hear from those guys and hear from some people from another country. And I really enjoyed it. And then their follow up when they went to PAX Australia, and they talked to us. They sent us was like 40 minutes audio of their, what they saw, and just talking about, things like that. I really thought that was really neat and provided a lot of value to
the sunburnt life is what we call
the sunburnt life. Yeah, exactly.
Or this sunburnt life.
Right. So that's I got to give those guys, the brothers down there.
Yeah, Andrew and Richard.
Richard, I said Robert.
Yes.
I knew it was with an R. Richard and Andrew.
I agree with that.
About it, Rob. You gonna cop out like Ron and just say
no, no.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
yeah, that's cool. I know you guys were on the show and I wasn't.
Just me. I was the only one.
Yeah, it's just Bren.
Yeah.
And then I spent like 3 years editing it.
Yeah.
I felt like I was there.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. So, I really like pretty much all the shows that we do that have the guest hosts because I love hearing everybody's perspective on things. Because it's just something new and interesting. Again, the couple that stand out the most for me, particularly like the recent ones, again, with Andrew and Richard, just because it was so interesting to hear how different things are down in Australia, and a lot of stuff that we take for granted is so huge down there. Like the stuff about the downloads and the cost of things, where downloading could be more expensive than the game itself, and why they use physical media and such. That was just so interesting to me that I was just transfixed the entire time that I was editing the show. And then I also really enjoyed the Democulus show that we did a little while ago. I love hearing about his collection and the stuff that he collects.
Yeah, I think Christoph too, when he came on to explain HDR and 4K.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
That was really good too. It was just so informative and provided a great value for the listeners and stuff. So I got to give him an honorable mention too. It was
absolutely.
And I enjoy everybody that's come on. I hope we can get more people on in 2017. I just like to hear from people who check in and listen to us all the time and support us. It's nice to hear from them as well. Democulus, Jason, I love you, buddy. You know that. I've met you in person. I've met your brother. You are a friend of mine, so hopefully I was just joking with you. We always love having you on. All right.
Okay. Next up, Stuart writes in, "Am I truly that angry?"
Yes. So people are like, what does that have to do with?
Yes.
It was who was it? What? I can't even think of it now. Somebody called him the Angry Canadian, and was it Dirty Bite?
I can't remember.
Might have been Dirty Bite that I was playing with and was saying, "Oh, it's the Angry Canadian." It's hard to keep the friends list and people I play with, but
and here we're talking about Carbide. Right?
Carbide.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carbide. Yes. Yeah. Carbide's the Angry Canadian.
Yeah, we should.
So anyways, he gets into Titanfall 2, and we've been playing, and he just gets.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Cursing this and cursing that, and everybody, and it's funny.
It's like
he'll
your
come
twin.
playing. All this guy's doing is killing pilots. He's not going after AI, and I'm like, dude, that's the point, right? Kill the pilots. I mean, that's the real people. Who cares if he's not going after the AI?
Yeah, I remember this.
And then and it does. He gets mad. Oh, look, he had this many pilot kills. He wasn't even going after AI, and then he'll go after and get mad the next guy. Oh, all they're doing is using the hemlock. That's just not even fair. or it's some guy sniping. Oh, this guy, he's just camping. What a camper. Come on. And it's always something every match that he's like losing his mind over. And so he got the name, the Angry Canadian.
Yeah, I remember that one. I was there because they were wondering if something fishy was going on too. That was the other thing. So.
Yeah, it's just so. That's why we call him the Angry Canadian. But he is out right now. He's out in the Caribbean. He's out in the Bermuda Triangle, so he may never come back. But him and his wife are on a cruise. So hope you guys have a good time, Stu. And we'll game when you get back.
Yeah, and if he sees any P-51 Mustangs or something like that flying around, he should take pictures.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Next up is from Skin again on to question 2. If I actually this is technically 3.
Yeah.
If I could play any fantasy game this Christmas, it would be a new BioShock, a prequel to the original, set during the downfall of Rapture. What fantasy game would you guys love to play this Christmas? What do you guys think here?
Fantasy. So not sci-fi, right? Because I'd like to say Mass Effect, but that's not fantasy, is it?
I answered what I want to play. I don't care what his question was, because
Yeah.
I'm not much into fantasy. So I said, and actually these are all fantasy games. Saints Row 5, that's not real. I know there's not making one. They're making a new
That's a
game, but
fantasy.
I want to see Saints Row 5. I want Crackdown 3. And I put Mass Effect Andromeda. Any of those 3 I would have loved to play on Christmas Day. So,
Yeah, I know there's a lot of our listeners and stuff that would like a new Dragon Age, which would be fantasy, but Dragon
yeah,
Age is always a good game.
you could just say
That's
Dungeons
BioWare.
and Dragons and leave it at that, right?
Yeah. I'm,
On a D&D game.
Diablo 4?
oh yeah. Oh, that
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take
That would
right
qualify
there.
as a fantasy,
Yes,
right?
it would.
Yes.
Yes, Diablo 4. Good call.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Or Torchlight 3. I'll take either one.
Nope. Diablo.
Torchlight's a great game,
I
man.
It is.
I was
It
kidding.
is.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I kid.
I love that at least in Torchlight you can send your pet back to the store
Oh.
with the nerves, and he comes back
Love
with money.
Yes.
It's like awesome.
I always remember the Penny Arcade when Torchlight came out. The Penny Arcade version, the comic they did on Torchlight was the guy saying, "Okay, boy, and like take this to the store," and like he goes to the store and he's like wheeling and dealing for money, and then when he gets like 100 gold or whatever, and when he comes back, he gives the guy like 50 gold. And keeps 50 of it himself or whatever it was. It's pretty funny.
So the pet is stealing.
Yeah, the pet's
skimming
taking
off the
money.
top.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Skimming
Again,
off
I'll
the
have to
top.
try to find that after this because it's really funny. He's like taking his cut. That's pretty funny.
Oh man.
All right. Which one's next?
And then I think that was it for the questions.
Well, we got
Loki's last comment.
Yeah.
All right. So Vengeful Loki writes in, can't call in, but wanted to say from an undisclosed position somewhere in the Pacific, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to the TXL clan and gamers everywhere.
Yeah. What is this is freaky. So Stuart, Mr. Carbide, our angry Canadian, he's posting pictures on Facebook the other day, and he's like, all these pictures of him leaving port on the ship, and they're setting sail, and then it was like a little bit later, we get this message from Vengeful Loki, and I'm chatting with him, and he's setting sail, and I was like, wait a minute, 2 people from the same community are getting on a boat on the same day. I'm like, are you guys on the same cruise ship? But turns out Vengeful Loki was out here on the West Coast, the Pacific, and Carbide is over off of Florida in the Atlantic. So, but it was weird. They both shoved off the same day. I was like, that's wild. So happy sailing to you too, Vengeful Loki.
Yes.
Yeah. So two quick questions that are in Twitch here. Jesus walks a lot. He's yelling at.
We don't care about.
He's probably yelling at his computer right now at us. Says my show question: how long do you guys plan on to keep TXL going? Says if and when the time comes, will you hand off the show to new people to keep it going, or just call it good? I don't know, like how long.
That question.
Huh? Yeah, I don't know how long it'd keep
that.
going, but I would not, in my opinion, would not hand it off to anybody.
Actually, I don't think we'll make it past episode 75.
Oh, okay. But no, 420.
What are we on right now?
415.
416 is I think good for me.
Yeah.
My game of the year, and I'm done.
Yeah. But I mean, in all honesty, though, like some things, a lot of things don't last forever. But I wouldn't want to hand it off because I'd want to go out on the way we would want to go out.
In a blaze of
Yeah.
glory.
And plus, the other thing is,
Burn it to the ground.
we've done 415 episodes that people like. I mean, some people may not like it, some people like it, but I wouldn't want to have a group come in and I don't want to say tarnish. Like, I'd feel comfortable with other people in our community or whatever, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, when people take over things, it kind of ruins sometimes what was there before. So that's just my opinion. But
Yeah, we're burning this sucker to the ground, man. There's gonna be nothing left.
lighting it on fire. Throwing
Rob's gonna hit the big red button, man.
throwing
Got
all
the
the
codes.
I'm taking all my equipment from underneath my computer and throwing it outside, dumping gasoline on it and torching it. But and then
Here's the torchlight.
yeah. What was the other one? One was a good Crackdown question. Oh, how do you feel about Crackdown being shown so long ago and now finally being released on the Scorpio? And he mentioned you, but I kind of already answered to it because, like, personally, I'm not happy. I'm really tired of games being shown or announced when they're just not ready. I mean, it's annoying. Yeah, but Crackdown, that's annoying. For that. Not
Yeah.
and it'll probably be a launch game for Scorpio, but of course it'll be playable on the Xbox One because all games.
Yeah, he's trying to bait us.
I know.
I know what he's baiting. He was trying to get us with the whole BS on the PlayStation stuff he was throwing up there earlier. That's just Jesus. That's my buddy. But no, I wish I hate that it's been delayed. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been too long. This game, I want this game out. Now they're saying, oh, holiday 2017. It's like, okay,
Yeah, it's 3 years.
I think you originally said last year, and then you said it was this year, and now. So when they talk about it, it's like whatever. I really, I don't even care. It's like my whole excitement for it's gone.
Yeah.
Now, will I be buying it? Absolutely, I'll buy it if it ever ships. But it's not going to be a Scorpio only title. But yes, I would expect that it will take advantage of the processing and hardware power of the Scorpio. So,
Yeah, they'll probably scale it. They'll probably scale it down for, the Xbox One and take full power of the other one. But just games in general, and he had a comment as the most disappointing generation with delays and expectations, and that's true. And I think that's on both sides of the fence. You go and you got
it's
Crackdown, and then it's like what 10? We just got I got something.
Last Guardian.
We just got Last Guardian. It's been 10 years. We just got Final Fantasy, which has been 10 years. Did you see the latest news on that? I tell you what, everybody who bought Final Fantasy should file a class action lawsuit. Because they're like, we are going to bring out cutscenes and explain some more detailed story modes about the characters, and we're going to put them in the game. That aren't there. They're not in the game right now. Like, they're not missing because it wasn't basically finished. And they're going to put them in the game over the next year. And I'm just like, are you kidding me, right? And I just heard this on another podcast. It's like, how do you... And you didn't tell people that when they bought the game originally. It's just crazy. And, things like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Announced... 2 years ago now? Still not out? Still nothing? Last of Us 2 was just announced, and they even said that it's just beginning, and they're thinking that's 2019. 3 years from now, and they announced it now. That's just
that's
stupid.
But that's the way the press conferences were too. I mean, I liked Microsoft the last couple of years. They said we're gonna, everything we're talking about is gonna be out this year.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, well now it'll be the next 18 months. Now, this last one, they've got stuff that's stretched out beyond that 18 months, and I don't like. And then Sony did it even more. They got stuff that, they were announcing in 2016 E3, that they're not expecting to 2019. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
3 years is way too early to announce a game. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
All the companies are guilty of it,
Yep.
and it's ridiculous. Just tell me what I'm going to be able to play in the next 18 months. I'm fine with, or it should be 18's okay. I can do that. Tell me what's going to be out between now and next E3, and really that's what it should be. What are you gonna be able to play in the next year before the next E3?
Right.
That's really all it should be. What are you gonna play in the next year? And I understand stuff's gonna get delayed, but if you are within that year window, then you should have an idea how if you're gonna slip or not. As you're getting down to the last year, you should be pretty able to maintain your schedule,
And
and not slip by a year or two. I mean, that's ridiculous.
yeah, and I don't mind. I don't mind if you're like, hey, this is coming out in fall, and it gets and it delays because delays happen. I'd rather have a finished game than a broken one, just like anybody else. So if you're in the fall and you push into spring, that's one thing. If you come out and announce a game and never even give a date, that's another. And then it's just up to speculation like, oh, well, like Kojima's game, 2020, 2021, playing on it.
What's the point? I mean, what is the point of even talking about it? There is no point.
No.
And if someone's buying a PS4 today to play a game that comes out in 5 years, you're just a moron.
Mm-hmm.
If you're buying an Xbox One today to play something that's going to come out in 5 years, you're a moron.
Right.
Period. That console's going to cost $50 by the time the game comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Why waste your money if that's the only game you want?
And it's going to be other consoles by then. It's good. Yeah, Steph. I mean, you're going to be on Scorpio and you're going to be on PlayStation 5 by then. So I mean,
yeah, and then everything will get delayed because they're going to have to do. Oh, well, we're going to put it on a new console, and it's just it's all stupid. So, I wish E3 I wish they wouldn't do that. I really do. Yeah. But they got to play the game, and they're trying to up each other, and Sony's like, oh, look at all these great things, but they don't tell you, and people get all excited, and then it's like, okay, wait a minute. Was there a release date given? And we did that list.
Yeah.
And I listed out every one of them on both sides, and we compared the numbers. Here how many they had, and here's how many they had. And it was crazy. And I'm not digging on Sony, but Sony had like 6 games they announced that were coming out within the next year, and they had like 15 that had no release dates at all.
Yeah.
And Microsoft had some, but it was not near like that. It was much smaller, but they even did. They had some that were like, there's no release date. We have no idea when it's coming out.
Right.
Where is Crackdown? Where is Scalebound? Where is Sea of Thieves? Where's Cuphead, for crying out loud?
Yeah.
Cuphead's in the same category as Crackdown. It was announced like 2 years ago, and we still don't have it.
Yep.
There was another one that I think, Rob, you wanted.
Wildlands.
Was it? Well, that one hasn't really been delayed that much. That's coming out in March?
So, okay, it's coming out this spring.
It's coming out this spring. I think it's got a March release date. And that one hasn't really. I don't think that one's been through much of a delay. But was it Below, Rob? Is that the one? It was.
Yes.
Like an indie...
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Where's that one? I mean, those are
that
5
was...
Xbox games that were announced several years ago, and
Below was announced on the reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, where is it?
I knew there was 5 or 6 on E3 that they talked about. It was either this E3 or because I can kind of compare the last 2 E3s, with both things, and yeah, Microsoft had 5 or 6. I think Sony had around 12 or something like that, but
Fable Legends beta was out.
Oh yeah, canceled.
Game's gone.
Yeah.
They're just gonna quit.
Well, at least it was canceled.
You're in beta form. I'm like, you've got the game. You could probably release this and then just say we're going to shutter it. Yeah. And they just said, no, we're done.
Yeah. Like, Below is not canceled. No, Below is not canceled.
Fable Legends.
Fable Legends, yeah. Below, they basically told Below, just take however much time you want because they've already put enough into it that they want it. So, but yeah, that's a good question. So.
We need to get going. We're going to hit our time limit.
All right.
We still got a voicemail to get to.
Oh, okay. All right. Community. Let me run this down real quick. Everything is thisxboxlife.com/Twitter/Facebook. You can go to contact@thisxboxlife.com if you want to send us an email, or you can go to our website and click on contact and then fill out the form, and we had one of those. But we have a voicemail, and to do that, you go to thisxboxlife.com, click on voicemail, follow the prompts, and it sounds something like this right here by Mr. Gunny Chief.
Hello, TXL. This is Henley, Gamertag, Gunny Chief. What's going on, guys? 2016's been a great year for gaming, especially with Battlefield 1. That game is phenomenal. Still playing that, loving that. Watch Dogs 2. I need to start that one. Gears of War 4. Titanfall 2. So many great games out there. Anyway, I want to know what your favorite Xbox exclusive series is and/or game. It could be Halo, Crackdown, Dead Rising. I know we still have Dead Rising 4 coming out here in the next couple days. Can't wait for that. Yeah, Forza Horizon 2 would probably be my favorite Xbox game. That game is phenomenal. Probably one of the best racers I've played. And maybe that'll change to Forza Horizon 3 shortly. I just need to get into that game a little more. So anyway, guys, have a great one and happy holidays.
All right. So, favorite Xbox exclusive.
But you can't count Dead Rising.
Yeah, because it's
Dead Rising 4 is coming to PlayStation like in a year.
so. I know what my
Dead
answer
Rising
is.
3 was exclusive, but DR4 is not.
Yeah.
What's yours, Bron?
Mine's got to be is Halo. I was kind of torn between Halo and Gears, but then I heard him mention Forza, and I'm like, man, Forza has a lot of good games too. But I'm sticking with Halo. They launched they put Xbox on the map. So, but yep, Halo.
How about you, Rob?
Man, the whole exclusive thing just throws a monkey wrench into things.
He wants to say Tomb Raider, doesn't he?
I want to say Dishonored.
I can't believe you're not saying Forza Horizon series.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it's either got to be that or maybe Halo Wars.
Halo Wars. Good.
Halo Wars. I'll have to go with Forza Horizon.
Yeah, as much as I love Forza Horizon, I think I would have to go with Gears of War.
Yeah.
It's my favorite exclusive. So
it's funny. It's like we all three said something different, but yet I could pick
Good.
all three.
They're all good.
Yeah,
choices.
yeah. That's good. That's a good thing.
D, all of the above.
Yeah. So I put one more. It wasn't really a question, but it was more of a Facebook message. So Rob, do you want to do that one real quick?
Sure. So this is from Brett. During the Game Award podcast, you guys were caught off guard by Overcooked being on the top co-op multiplayer games. I was just playing with my sister, extremely casual gamer when she was young, but nothing now. And we were laughing and having a blast. If you're looking for a couch co-op game that's easy to pick up and have fun with family, I would really check this game out. It's not exactly easy to get 3 stars in each level, but it's great family fun, and it's less than $20.
Well, there's a couch co-op game, I guess.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you.
I looked at this. I looked at this in the store, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't get this. This does not look fun.
I've actually heard multiple things about it. So, and a lot of people talking about how fun it is.
That's all I've heard is good stuff about it, but I don't get it. It's like, I guess you got to play it, but I don't want to put the money down.
Yeah, I'm finding like lately a bunch of these smaller studio titles that you look at the trailer or you look at the pictures, it doesn't look like anything interesting, doesn't look spectacular or anything like that, but the gameplay is fun, like Kingdom New Lands. I love that game. Yet you look at the trailer and you're like, I have no idea what this thing is. It looks like garbage. But yeah, it's I'm going to take another look at this one now. See if I can see the appeal. I'm sure it's there.
All right.
Okay.
That's it. So, why don't you fly through what's coming out this week, and then we'll.
Before we do, we should remind everybody about the contest.
Oh yeah. So, for the giveaway, we're giving away an Xbox Elite controller. If you check us out on Twitter, thisxboxlife.com/Twitter or twitter.com/thisxboxlife. It is pinned on the top, and it is a Gleam giveaway. There's multiple ways to enter, and you have until the 25th, end of the day on the 25th.
I'll bump it in the Facebook right now as well.
Yep. All right.
There it is. Bumped.
All right. Hit releases. Skip games with gold. We'll do it next week.
Okay, releases for this coming week. The Little Acre. Is that right, or is that Ace?
It's Acre.
Acre. Okay.
Right.
Little Acre. We have Stardew Valley on the 14th. Don Bradman Cricket 17 on the 15th. Bridge Constructor Stunts on the 16th, and also on the 16th, Steel Rain X. For Xbox 360, apparently there's nothing.
Nope.
For games with gold, there's going to be a shift on Friday. Murdered Soul Suspect is out of here, and it's being replaced by Outlast. Yes, Outlast. I was confused because of Xbox 360 title has Outland. I was like, did we get that already? Okay, but yeah, Outlast is coming in on the 16th. For the 360, we have Outland leaving the scene, and it's being replaced by Burnout Paradise. I'm sure a lot of us already have Burnout Paradise because it just became backwards compatible. If you had it before, you got it already. And then through the entire month of December, we have Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition available on Xbox One side. Then with the holidays coming on up, if you're making any purchases on Amazon, please make sure to use our affiliate link. That way you can give your loved ones some great gifts and support your favorite podcast. It doesn't cost you anything extra to use our affiliate link, but it does help the show out. We get a teeny tiny little finder's fee for sending you Amazon's way. So please make sure to use that each and every time that you do your purchasing on Amazon. And then that way you can do two great things: help yourself out and the show. And also, if you're on iTunes, find This Xbox Life on there and give us a 5-star rating. Write a little review if you could. The more 5-star ratings that we get, the higher up in the rankings we'll be, and we'll be a featured podcast. Help more and more people find out about the show. So that's another way that you can help support the show. And anything else you guys want to add before we close out?
Game of the Year show next week. So,
Yes.
and then we're off for a week. But that's all I have.
And we're off for the rest of the year.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
We're off for the rest of the year. Yes, technically, yes.
And then we'll be back on January 1st.
Yeah, on the 1st. So, yep. So, no, I'm good. That's it. So, thank you, everybody, for stopping out. We appreciate it. And see you next week. So, I'm Brian, BJ Swick 33.
I'm Rob, also known as Prestar. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Mark, aka Wingman 709, taking off.